That was disgusting. We're going to recap that poor excuse of a football game. On the plus side, at least there was no blocked punts. As I aforementioned, what a disgusting game. We're going to recap all that. Welcome in. We're going to have a depressing and probably, I was ready to say over dramatic show, but let's be honest, probably not over dramatic. So go ahead and hit me with whatever you got to get us started off here, buddy. At least like an intro. Introduce yourself to me.
I said after we lost to the Jets, like before I hit the panic button, before we completely throw in the towel and say we suck, let's give us one more game. We're going to get the backup quarterback. We're home. Let's see if we can get a win here and feel a little bit better about ourselves. But what we actually did was played out by far the worst game we played all season. Like, we got beat top to bottom. Offense looked bad. Defense looked bad. I guess special teams didn't do nothing too bad, so that's a good thing. But anyway, we looked awful today, and we took the wrong step. We went backwards instead of forward, and maybe it's too early because it's 3 weeks in, but I'll say I think flat out this team is not very good.
I am this is maybe the wrong word. Maybe it's dramatic. I don't know. I'm depressed about this this loss, and I'll tell you why. The first game, we played better than the Bears. But a block punt and a stupid young quarterback mistake of chucking the ball to somebody else is the reason we lost that game. You know what I mean? Like, we played better than them. It's fine. Because most people gave us zero chance to win that game. The second game, it was just honestly, it was a good, like, if you were somebody who wasn't a Jets or a Titans fan, you were just watching that game, that was just a good game. It was a good back and forth game. Jets probably are going to go to the playoffs, in my opinion. And Aaron Rodgers, especially after his Thursday night performance, is looking like A-Rod of the past. So it was just a close loss against a really good team. You hate to start 0-2, but that is what it was. But when your third string quarterback that was not good enough to make your roster, you trade him away and you're just happy to get a 7th-round pick for it, comes in there and he lights your team up. That is just so demoralizing. That's depressing. And I think Malik Willis doing that to us, it didn't have to be Malik Willis, just insert any quarterback here. That was the most depressing part, was the fact that we kept saying, statistically, we have the number 1 defense in the league, the number 1 defense. So if we're going to do that a lot, Malik Willis, Will Levis, we're going to do that a whole lot this video, and I apologize. So we kept saying, if we can just get Will Levis to just stop these stupid turnovers with this number 1 defense we got, I think we could win a bunch of games. But the fact that we let Malik Willis score 30 points, it was just unexpected. I'll be honest, that completely caught me off guard. Like, every time the Titans tighten, as people say, oh, we're tightening again. Oh, the Titans are tightening up. Every time that happens, I'm never surprised. I'm like, we would do that. We would. But the whole Malik Willis just going wild on us caught me off guard.
Yeah, I would say I was surprised by that. And win or lose, I expect this to be a low-scoring game. And I did not expect it.
Was for us.
Yeah, I didn't expect us to struggle defensively like that. I don't know what to say. They beat us. We got out-coached. I think Matt LaFleur called a good game. I do believe Malik Willis played a good game. That's probably one of the best games he can have. He was good with the football. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. He was accurate. And when do we say that? Malik Willis was accurate. He threw some deep strikes and throwing 16, throwing 18. He ran the ball well. It was just a great game plan, and he executed it perfectly. But our defense should be ashamed. We did not create much pressure. When we didn't bring him down. And you said this during the game. I'm not too upset with our cornerbacks because he did a lot of damage to tight ends and running backs. You know what I mean? I don't like there wasn't like I can't think of Owuzie or Snead got beat there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they did.
The only time I can remember is on one of their is either the 3rd and 16 or the 3rd and 18 that they picked up. I remember there was a strike to I don't even remember the wide receiver, but it was Jarvis Brownlee Jr. on the coverage.
Yeah, well, he's a rookie.
Which, he's a rookie 5th round pick, so I wasn't overly upset about that. I do agree with you. Snead was fine, and sadly, Woozy did step out with an injury. So hopefully, hopefully that's not something that's going to haunt him for a while. And McCreary was fine. I agree with you. It's linebackers and safeties that had no answer for the tight ends.
And I was just at first, our run defense was good, but I guess maybe we got worn down because our offense again sucked. But they started gashing us more as the game went on.
Yeah, hated to see that as well.
Yeah. So again, like you said, I agree with you. The Packers beating up on a defense like that was unexpected, and that's why I am officially saying, oh, if this defense is bad, then we got no chance because our offense looks like it's horrible. And so I'm like, our only hope is our defense. But you got to admit, each week the defense got worse.
Yeah, I agree. They allowed no touchdowns week 1. They allowed 24 points, but obviously some of that was assisted with a blocked punt and and whatnot. But then that was I can't say words. Unobjectively bad.
Yeah,
like it was not good. I think they had 370-ish yards. That's not good.
Yeah, I think that was horrible. And listen, this may not be a very popular thing to say. I like Malik Willis. I did as a guy, as a person. So I'm happy that he did well. I just wish it wasn't against us. But I would say this. Kudos to Matt LaFleur because he made Malik Willis not look like – Malik Willis never looked like that on our team.
No, he didn't even look like the same player.
Nope.
On our team, he looked panicked.
Yep.
He did things where you're like, people don't do that in the NFL. Like when he'd be in the pocket, he'd completely turn backwards looking behind him because I guess he just thought folk were breathing down his neck. He just did stupid stuff where he wanted to run, but then he couldn't run because of Vrabel. Now, that's a Vrabel issue. But like he wanted to run, but knew that Vrabel would yell at him for not throwing, so he would just run around behind the line waiting for someone to get open. He just did stupid stuff. Every time we brought him in for a trick play, he fumbled it every single time. He had like 3 fumbles on trick plays when he was the backup. He didn't look like he belonged on a football field. This dude was calm. He was composed. He took it down and would run, just gash us with big old runs. He would go through progressions. He looked calm and he just firing these strikes to people.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, he looked good. I think Matt LaFleur did a good job of doing RPOs and stuff, getting him comfortable running. I think that was I think it was an excellent game plan. It was. Malik Willis looked good. Offensively, where do we start? Will Levis looks horrible. Turns over the ball 8 times in 3 games. That's laughable. Like he looks like he doesn't belong in the league. Offensive line is a joke. Even Peter Skoronski looks like he's bad. Honestly, Lloyd Cushenberry is the only one that I consistently see doing well. This offensive line is a joke. The running game is dead. We don't have a running game.
No.
Like this offense looks bad, really bad.
Yeah, it was worse than I thought. Pollard was 6 carries, 14 yards. Nice. Spears was 2 for 7. Even Levis was 3 for 12. So we had zero success running. It didn't matter who it was. There's one and only one bright spot in this whole game on both sides of the ball.
Know where you're going.
D-Hop.
Yeah.
And I looked, he played less than 50% of the snaps. So playing less than 50% of the snaps, he still had 6 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. It was nice to see him bounce back.
Yeah, and that's good and all, but come on, we can't just depend, on what is he, 31, however old, 32?
32.
Yeah, a player, we got to get other people involved here. Calvin Ridley was kind of quiet.
Yeah, he was.
This is why I'm out. I saw you named the video. The Titans are now 0-3, season over. And I'm just going to say yes. And the reason I say yes, because in today's NFL, where quarterback is so important, I have seen enough of Will Levis. He's not the guy. Turned the ball over way too much in college. He last year, because I remember saying this, he only had 4 picks, but he had a bunch of footballs off the defender hands that should have been picked that wasn't. And then this year, 8 turnovers in 3 games. I hate to say it, but this is who he is, and I think it's time to accept that.
I mean, it might be it. That might be the end of the road with Levis. He was
Eh,
good statistically, minus those 2 picks if you
His
look at him,
stats
because
was better than he played, I will say.
26 of 34, so only 8 incompletions, with the 2 touchdowns. But then there was the 2 picks, there was the fumble, and then to me, I almost consider a turnover on him that should be attributed to him was that 4th and 1,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he could have hit Spears, not
I don't know
Spears,
why he did it,
Pollard.
'cause you know that's what the play was designed to go, so I don't know why he
And then
did it.
I agree, and then he decides to try to run it, and then gets sandwiched between 2 people for no
Not
gain.
even close.
And
Like,
that's what my biggest issue is. I feel like when he's the opposite to what Clutch is. Like, there are people like Mariota was the opposite. Mariota would be kind of the whole game, but then when it came down to time to just
he was
get
good
that
at
drive,
yes.
they used to call him the silent assassin because he would just get that look in his eyes and he would take us down there and score all the time. Levis is the opposite. Whenever
Yes.
there's pressure mounted on him, a play's got to be made. I'm thinking about Mariota stiff arming that guy into oblivion and then
Yeah.
sliding to get him in the playoffs, then staring down.
That was cool.
Was it Barry Church or something? Yeah, staring the guy down like that. That was the emotion. That was like the assassin side of him, if you want to call it that way. I feel like Levis is legitimately the opposite. Levis can make any throw. He's big, strong, athletic. But when the game is on the line, minus the Dolphins last year, don't know what that's about. But when the game's on the line, he's gonna make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating.
Yeah. Again, I just don't think he's the guy. And I will admit, with the way he was turning the ball over, I actually kind of expect to see Mason Rudolph come out. I really did. And
once the game was over, I did for sure.
Yeah. I'll say this. If he continues to play like this, I do see Mason Rudolph playing this year. If Will Levis keeps turning the ball over. Because that is the number one thing. Number one thing is do not turn the ball over as a quarterback. And he's doing that at a high rate.
Like that, then that's what his biggest issue is. Because again, he's not afraid to stretch the field every now and again. He threw for 260 yards, which sadly for Titans quarterback, that's good. He threw for a lot of yards, but 3 more turnovers to add to the 5 in the first 2 games.
It's too much.
It is. And it's one of those situations where it doesn't look like, oh, just let's fix some of this and fix some of that, clean a little bit of that up, and he'll be good. It's almost more like this is just kind of what you do, buddy.
Yeah, this is who he is. And it's been like this a long time for him. I don't think he's the guy. I don't know. And this is not just, you could say that this is 3 weeks. You're being dramatic. I'm going through his whole career and even his collegiate career. Okay. I am going the whole picture of Will Levis. This is who he is. He turns the ball over. And I'm just, I'm done with him. I'm not done in the sense I'm not gonna I'm mad if he plays next week. Like if he wants to play the rest of the year, fine, because I think we're lost this year. But I would say next year, I hope we look for another option.
I mean, here's what the biggest issue is: there is no option next year. Mr. Sanders, I ain't sold on him. Carson Beck, I ain't sold on him. I don't think any of those are any good. I don't like anybody coming out of the draft. Free agency. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go after Russell Wilson. Andy Dalton, who just killed it with the Panthers, I hear he's going to be a free agent next year. Like, I don't want any of these people.
I will say,
like, what do you do?
I like Quentin Hughes as a quarterback, but he does get hurt a little bit. So we'll see.
But here's the thing.
I'm done with injury-prone quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that
too.
Sure.
That too. That's the one thing we can't give Levis. He's getting his butt kicked, but he's still playing.
Quentin Hughes has been really good. And
here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. If he's the first quarterback, I highly doubt we're going to be the worst.
That is because we're 0-3 and we can't win. So
I mean, that's true. That is very true.
The Panthers got more wins than us, Gabo.
Yeah, thanks to old Red Rifle.
The Patriots got more wins than we do. The Colts have more wins than we do. You know,
the Ravens ended up holding on to that, so the Ravens ended up winning. So yeah, there's not many teams 0-3 anymore.
Wow, so we could be on a level of just like one of the worst teams in the league. And I didn't see that. Did you? I'm looking this up, by the way. If you want to
here's what the biggest issue is. It's safe to assume I'm not going to pick us to win any more games. But let's say if we somehow, upset the Dolphins and we beat them, we're up 1-3. We're going our bye week. We come back against the Colts.
Yeah.
What makes us think we're going to beat the Colts?
Let me say this real quick. Okay, there's only 3 teams that hasn't won yet. There's us, and then Jaguars and Bengals. But the thing is, those two play each other. So
one of them
is going to get one. So there's going to be only 2 teams that hasn't won yet, and we're one of them. So why can't we be the first pick?
That's impressive.
Go ahead.
But anyways, I was saying, if we somehow beat them, we go 1-3 into the bye week, and then we come back, and I don't see why we would beat the Colts. That takes us to 1-4.
Yes, I agree.
After the Colts, guess who we got? We got in back-to-back weeks the Bills and the Lions.
That's a lose-lose right though. And the Vikings, who I thought was a win, they look tough.
Yeah, we still got the Texans twice. We still got the Bengals. Are we really only going to win 4 or 5 games?
We could.
That's what everybody, all the Vegas odds, everybody predicted we'd only get about 5 wins this season.
And I
laughed at him. I was like, how? I was like, Will Levis could get no better than he was as a rookie, and we would win more than 5 games. But sadly, he's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And our offensive line is awful.
It is.
I understand benching NPF, but Jalen Duncan was horrible. He whiffed almost every single play. He don't even touch the guy. Doesn't slow him up.
Yeah, the O-line is a joke, which sucks.
Skoronski was bad again today. Skoronski was awful.
And that's so annoying because you don't pick a guard with your 11th overall pick, which we did last year. But if you do it, that guard better be good. You better be a Pro Bowl guard. And guess what? We got one, and he doesn't even seem good at all. And so he's bad. Radence is not good. NPF, Duncan, whoever you want to list is bad. Christian Bailey's been all right. And Latham is too early to say for him. But the O-line is a joke. Will Levis is a joke. And I like Tony Pollard, but it's not really working out right now, running game. And you can break off the line.
Problem is they're going back to the old thing they used to do to beat Derrick Henry. Stack the box to stop the run, and then to try to make Ryan Tannehill beat you. Now they're the same thing, but with Will Levis, and Will Levis ain't doing it either.
Yeah, that's the one thing one of these I've done with Will Levis. I just want a quarterback that can beat you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can stack the box, but this quarterback's good enough to win. We don't have that. All of our quarterbacks we've ever had can't beat man-to-man coverage, you know?
I wish he'd see the field. I really wish you could see the field, because especially when you're just looking at the film studies, whether you're watching Tic Tac Titans or A to Z Sports Film Rooms, if you're looking at any of those, there were open people that he's just making the throw the wrong person. Now maybe it has something to do with the order that he's going through his progressions or whatever, but he doesn't see the field.
No,
and that's an issue. That gives me a little bit of faith with Brian Callahan, because let's be honest, Brian Callahan had said it himself. He's an 0-3 head coach right now. I mean, that's not good at all. Because if we have a terrible quarterback and a terrible head coach, then that's the worst type of situation you can be in.
Yeah. I'm sure it's never as bad as you think it is, and I'm sure there's some kind of silver lining out there. It's just right now, after dropping 0-3, and we're getting worse instead of better. It's tough to find it. And let me say this real quick. Can we take Traylon Burks out of our lineup? I'm so done with him.
It's kind of pointless. He doesn't catch footballs. He cannot catch footballs.
Nope.
I can catch better than him. And I'm 5'9" and 180 pounds.
What?
But like I could be more physical with these corners than he's being.
Yeah.
He just gets bullied out
he's
there.
Not good. I wish
he just falls around.
Yeah.
And
he plays a good bit.
I mean, he's the first backup off the bench on the outside. The problem is DeAndre Hopkins still isn't 50% of the snaps on offense.
Yeah, I'm just done with him though. But yeah, Jake Clark. Nope. Will Levis. I mean,
same difference.
He might, shadow some kind of record if he keeps throwing turnovers like this.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is. And you just can't win like that. You just can't. Now, why I'm not as mad, I guess, today about it, because our defense struggled so much. Like the first 2 weeks, like our defense played good enough to win, but he's turning the ball over. Well, today our defense was bad, so the turnovers didn't kill us as much. I think we would have lost anyway, but 8 turnovers in 3 games is still just one too many.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's how can you be positive at all? Because I was annoyed that we got rid of that game against the Bears. Like, we outplayed them, we gave it to them. Stupid Levis, what are you doing? Stupid blocked punts, what are we doing? Like, we played better. And I said at the beginning of the video, Jets are a good team. We had a back and forth, we lost, but we hung with the Jets. We hung with what could be a powerhouse in the AFC. But this one, there's nothing good to draw from it. Hooray, our 32-year-old wide receiver who's going to be a free agent next year, was able to get 70 yards and a touchdown. Yippee hooray! Besides that, our defense was nothing.
Yep.
Our defense, actually, that might be the most concerning part. It's
That
either Will
defense-
Levis. If I could put up polls, I would say what was the most devastating about this game: the fact that Will Levis does not look to be the answer, or that our what was a top number one defense was just completely slaughtered by Malik Willis.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Next week we're going against Dolphins, and the Dolphins' offense did not look good with Skylar Thompson. But I'm still thinking.
Skylar Thompson got hurt too.
Oh, did he? Oh, who
Yeah.
who replaced him? Do you know?
I don't even remember something. Either
way, what I was about to say. Well, if Malik Willis can torch our defense, I think anyone can.
I mean, that's safe to say. I agree.
Yep.
Let's see who their quarterback who ended up coming in was Tim, right? Tim Boyle.
Oh, Tim Boyle. Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's all that great.
No, he's never been good either. But Malik Willis, like we said at the beginning of the video, Malik Willis, when he played in his rookie season and last year, he did not look like he should be on an NFL roster. And then he just comes in here, looks calm, composed, and just torches us. So
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is a maybe, but maybe we could get a win right before the bye. But if we get a win, like, yeah, we're 1-3. And with this team, I like the teams that we mentioned. I don't see us beating the Bills. I don't see us beating the Vikings. I don't see us beating all the other teams that we have. Bengals. You know, I'm like, I don't. It's hard to find a silver lining for sure.
Maybe I'll change my tune, but I really don't think I will. But I have trouble finding a path where we beat anybody.
Yeah,
even the worst teams in the league, like last year, the Panthers, they still won like 3 games.
Yeah,
maybe 4. I don't see it with us playing like this. I don't see how we can win.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop the run. We stopped it in the first half, but the second half we couldn't. Couldn't stop the run. Couldn't stop the pass. Couldn't run. Couldn't pass.
Yeah, exactly. There's not one thing we did well, except
special teams is always a negative.
Yeah, and I would say the fact that in today's NFL, well, you know, offenses has it a little bit easier because defenses can't do anything. It's pathetic. You can't get 20 points on the board.
No, we were joking like, oh, we just can't get it over 17. 17 2 games in a row. Out 14. We ended up 14. Even worse.
We have an offensive-minded coach. It's not like we got Mike Vrabel back there. You know, we got an offensive-minded coach, and this is what he's got. And now the problem is, and I don't know who you blame for this besides drafting. Maybe you could blame Carthon for this. I don't know. But the O-line's so bad. It doesn't create holes in running, and it doesn't protect Will Levis very well.
Yeah, maybe this is a hot take. But when does Carthon's seat get hot?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Let's just say if we continue and we somehow end up getting 5 at this point, think about it, winning 5 games sounds like an insane task. But let's say if we end up with 5 wins, if we have Rain Carthon for 2 seasons and he has 6 win and then a 5 wins, he has 11 wins. That's it off of 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that'd be 23 loses. Like, is that the guy you want for your future?
Which is weird because I will say I thought he had a good off season.
I thought he made all the right moves. But we're not winning. Somebody has to be. There has to be someone to blame.
Yes.
Do we not have our franchise quarterback? Do we not have our franchise head coach?
We may not. I don't know.
But here's the problem. There's not going to be anybody better next year at quarterback. There's not going to be anybody better next year at quarterback.
I think I'll take most of the quarterbacks in the
Russell
draft.
Wilson?
No.
You want Russell? Andy Dalton?
Well, Andy Dalton's probably a better quarterback. I would say that. I would 1,000%.
He's 30. I think he's 36 though. He'll be 37 years old next year.
I say he's a better quarterback in my opinion. But yeah, but I don't want him. I'll say this. I know I guess you don't like it, but Quentin Hughes is my guy. I think he's a better quarterback than Will Levis. Honestly, I think Beck could be maybe, and I just feel like all the quarterbacks that could be potentially going in the first round is a better quarterback than Will Levis, in my opinion. Even if I don't want them, I think they could be at least as good. Well, you got to give 8 turnovers in 3 games. It's hard to imagine anybody doing that.
Daniel Jones, I think, does that.
Okay,
I think he had some. Daniel Jones had like an insane amount of fumbles. I think it was his first year.
Most quarterbacks is not going to do that, even if they're not good.
Yeah, if only this was next year. Because if we were looking horrible, and quarterback being largely to blame, and we're looking at Arch Manning and Nico for the Vols, then I might be like, ooh, let's lose all the rest of our games.
Here's the thing. Is it possible? Maybe we should do one of those trades, Gable. Well, somebody trades to, like, let's say we had the second overall pick. Now, that's dramatic, but let's say we have that. We let somebody that's bad trade up into the second round spot so they could get the quarterback of that year, but then they do bad that year and we get the pick they have. Like this team's still bad, and so the next year they pick spot 3 and then we get that.
That's funny you should say that, because that's literally something I was thinking. I'm like, what if we actually end up going 4 and 13 and we have the first overall pick and we decide, I don't think we're going to take any of these quarterbacks. We trade it away to some other quarterback, and probably the Panthers again. And the Panthers, get whoever the number 1 quarterback ends up being, and then they suck. And then they give us the first pick of the draft in the following year. Sounds like a plan, huh? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Especially if we keep Will Levis next year and he's still bad, then we could end up having like the first overall pick that we traded away, and then like our 3rd or 4th that was belonged to us. Let's be honest, that's what the Texans did. That's what the Texans did with C.H. Stroud and Will Anderson, basically.
The Bills did it. Well, they had 2 first rounds.
Yeah, they did, and they got Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams, which ain't looking too good so far. But
which is weird. I gotta admit, I am shocked with the Bills being this bad. I know and they beat us, but
not really.
Look at the roster. I feel like they should be better than that. I really do, but it is what it is.
Well, I've never been sold on Matt Eberflus, though. If I'm being
I think
honest.
that might be an issue. Yeah. Anyway, we are talking about off season, and we are talking about the Bills now.
I don't know what else to say. We've said Will Levis looks like he is not our franchise quarterback, but even though we have no better options next year, we've talked about our offense on looks as bad as it's been.
Why is it always so bad?
Always bad. And now suddenly our defensive side, they're also bad. The only thing that was fine was kind of special teams. Like we didn't allow any pump blocks. That's an improvement. But then they missed a field goal, but then Jeffrey Simmons did a penalty, which they ended up getting a touchdown of that drive, right?
Yes, they did.
So, yeah, again, besides you can say, yippee, hooray, our 32-year-old wide receiver had 70 yards and a touchdown. Besides that, there's nothing to say. There's nothing good to say. And you know me, I am one of the most bucket of chicken half full kind of people. But I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's tough, man. This week was tough. And this is bad for the Titan franchise anyway, because, I saw someone say this that I kind of agree. It's like, it's early in the season where people are like, oh, is this how bad we're going to be? And people's going to start checking out. You know what I mean? Fans are just going to start checking out like, oh, this team's not worth my time. I got other things to get into. And because we look lifeless and just awful right now. You know what I mean? People have other things to do with those Sundays, and I'm like, fans will be checking out.
I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Mike Herndon on X shared a picture that was funny. It said a picture of it was like a live look at week 1 in 2027 in the Titans' new stadium or something like that. It was just one guy by himself sitting in the stands, which is the funny part about it was like, if we're this bad, then nobody who's going to show up to watch our game, which is it's supposed to be a funny thing. But at the same time, I can't blame them. Like, what's the point of just sitting down every Sunday? I'm going to continue to do it. I've never I've never not done it. But like, who wants to spend their Sundays just sitting there watching your team get spanked and then call it a day?
Yep.
I don't know. I try to leave you with something positive, and I was kind of hoping the Power Hour would jump in here and try to say something positive, but who knows? He might actually be devastated as well. Oh, we just got a comment from a name. He's actually been commenting on a lot of our videos. I'm not sure if you noticed that. And I appreciate it. He says, hey, now, there will be opposition fans. That's true. That is true. If we
because sadly,
the new stage, that'll be like a home away from home game for him.
Sadly, the last 2 weeks, I saw more Jet fans and Packer fans than Titan fans, which is a little sad.
Yeah, sadly, that is 100% accurate. And it's just depressing. It was just so bad on every phase.
Yeah,
like
there's really not much to be happy about. Like you said, I guess D-Hop actually showed up. I mean, he looks a little healthier, so because I don't even blame him. Like he did bad, he wasn't healthy the first couple weeks. But I guess that's a bright side. But the problem is, it's hard to get excited for a guy that could maybe not be on your team next year. He's 32. You know what I mean? Like I want to see some of the maybe young players that's going to be on our team for a while. I want to see them do something to be excited about. But nobody's really stepping up. You know what I mean? So there's not much of a silver lining here. I don't know. Do you got anything to say That's positive.
I don't know. Let's say I like to try to end everything on a positive note. Be like, you know what, the sun will shine again. Tighten up, guys, and try to say something. But I got nothing. I just got nothing. We had one player play good. Let's throw Lloyd Cushenberry in there. Lloyd Cushenberry, he's been solid for the three of them in that we've had. We got a name says, which is a fantastic name, but it says adjust. I just jumped in, so I'll have to check the rest out later. We appreciate it. Even though I have noticed something, for some reason when I upload or do lives and I end it, a lot of times it's not immediately available. I think it has to be like reviewed to make sure there's nothing that goes against their guidelines, and then it eventually shows up like 12 hours later. He also says the only positive thing I had was no punts blocked,
which is funny. We said that.
We said the same thing closer to the beginning. Yeah, I agreed. No punts blocked, so that's a step in the right direction, I guess. And then I guess Jaquan Jackson was a little better on his returns, a little better.
Yeah,
but then we technically, in a way, we technically still allowed points with our special teams because they kicked a field goal, missed it. We did a penalty, which gave them the drive back, and then they ended up scoring on that.
I'm just trying to think of some. Okay, this is far fetched. Okay, this is very far fetched. But I thought Tajay Spears looked good with the ball in his hands.
That's the same person I thought. Spears is good when he has the ball in his hands, but for some reason,
when you catch him in space, and he actually has a little space, so I'll say that Tajay Spears looked good catching the ball.
He's got this wiggle that I like, where it's like Dion Lewis had a wiggle, but I feel like he had a wiggle where he didn't go anywhere. He's just juking back and forth, trying to make somebody miss. I feel like somehow he's able to he runs like that, if that makes any sense, at people. It's like he's going left and right, but forward still. I don't know. Maybe it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I think we should try to use him a little more, just in my humble opinion.
Yeah, because Pollard, he's better in doses. Let's make that more 50-50.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something we should do.
He says, was it Spears or Pollard that was open on the fourth down? Levis kept it for no reason. That was Pollard, but he still should have thrown that.
Either way, it was easy first down, actually, because once I saw the replay, I'm like, I don't know this possible for the defense to even get to him before he made the first down.
And it's a problem some quarterbacks have, and Malik Willis, I remember he used to be this when he played with us in 2022. When they take their eyes down, they never bring it back up. Yeah. And that's what Will Levis did there. Like when Will Levis took his eyes down and looked at the defenders in front of him, he had no intentions of ever looking back up. He's just like, I'm going to go superhero and get this.
Will Levis barely even got to the line of scrimmage, so he wasn't even close. You're like, he almost got. No, he wasn't even close. He got decked for no reason. And I said this earlier. The problem is that play was designed for Tony Pollard, so it wasn't like that was his third read or anything. Like that was literally what the play was supposed to go.
He honestly should have thrown it a whole lot sooner. Yeah, because by the time he actually was looking at him and thinking about it, he wasn't as open as he was before that. Because if you look at the very beginning of the play, he was wide open as soon as he broke out to the right.
So.
I don't know. It goes back to what we were saying earlier with him just not being clutch.
Will Levis,
it's frustrating.
Oops.
A name says both defenders crashed down. Yeah, both defenders crashed down on him. Little layup over them and decided to try to get I can't read right now, and decided to try and get John Elway helicoptered again. That's exactly what he did. Or what's that one, Rosenhall or something like that? He used to play for the Texans. I remember
that was a long time ago for the Texans.
A long time ago. Yeah, he liked to do a little spinorama. Yeah, I mean, Will Levis just in his mind could see himself putting the team on his back and just going, "Jah!" and just jumping over the whole pile. I mean, I understand that hero ball. That's what you've gotten away with a lot of times, because he did a little bit of that in his rookie season where he would jump for first downs and do crazy stuff, but a lot of times it would work out for him. It's like all the magic he had last year. He tries and it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating. Very frustrating, but I guess we'll get out of here because we're at this point we're beating a dead horse, a dead Titans team, dead franchise.
Man, it's hard to be positive, but there's always next year.
It's like 2025, baby. Think about the great draft pick we're gonna get this year. Maybe we'll add an edge rusher or a young wide receiver, something like that. So, again, we've been going for 34 minutes at this point, so. Again, don't know if I have any positive words for you before we get out of here. Do you have anything?
I think
the man says cheers. Is that what that is that you drink?
Fine. Yeah. We will somehow be better next week. That's it. We'll maybe surprise us and beat the Dolphins. Do you think
You
one of
watch
these weeks
for
we're
no
gonna
reason we'll beat them like 24-10, and we'll be like,
see- Yeah, and then after the bye, we just look bad again.
yeah, it's very possible. But anyways, I guess we'll get on out of here. Maybe there'll be brighter days ahead. Maybe those brighter days are like 2033 or something. I don't know. But regardless, let's get out of here. Tighten up, I guess. Yeah.